Producers, if you've been waiting to upgrade your creative toolbox.
Whoops. We're going to start the stream with some ads. Let me mute that. Just trying to pull up the chat on YouTube. Ben, you always pop in, man. Surprised anyone was just in here just like that. So, yeah, what's good? Welcome back in. My name's Rose, Lifted Noise, for those of you who may never been in here. Glory to God. So I just wanted to pose this question because last time around, so here's the question. What are your music production weaknesses? Let's have a little discussion. I think this is what these streams turn into, is a discussion. And I don't always get around to actually finishing music, so that's okay. Last stream around, I know a few of you in here. Ben, you were in here. DJ Rec was good. I don't know if you were in here the last stream, but I was asking the question, has anybody been finishing music lately? And I haven't been, and I'm kind of sick of it, you know. So some of the things I got into was I started talking about, oh, maybe I'll just start sampling stuff. And so I was looking for samples throughout that, and then afterwards, I think the next day I was looking through YouTube, just looking for samples, and I came across a track that had a hi-hat loop on it. And so it made me kind of think of what are some of my weaknesses, because as far as production goes, because, did I say glory to God? All right, glory to God. I always say that because I'm an imperfect human, know that I'm flawed, fall short, so glory to God. But anyways, I ran into this hi-hat loop, and it made me think that hi-hats, like programming hi-hats has always been a struggle for me. I'll spend like 20, 30 minutes. I swear I've probably spent an hour on just trying to get hi-hats correct. And although I have some techniques down, I feel like it's still kind of a shortcoming for me. So like, and I was just thinking about this idea of like kind of addressing or pinpointing what my weaknesses are, because maybe those are some of the things that are keeping me from finishing, because those little weak areas don't really compel me or inspire me to actually take the track further, because they're lacking in those areas. So I just kind of want to be really conscious about what I'm doing. And so I wanted to throw that question out there for y'all. Maybe it could be helpful to you as well. Maybe this is something that y'all need to get past in order to start finishing your music. So a couple things, like my list isn't complete, but so far I've pinpointed a few things, and I wanted to throw in there like what are your weaknesses and what are your strengths. But I kind of want to more focus on the weaknesses, just so we can be real honest with ourselves. Not that I know exactly what all my weaknesses are, but I think I'm pretty self-aware, and maybe I'm better at it than I think, you know. But I'm a little bit crucial, a little bit difficult of a what you call a critic on myself, and I think we all are. But yeah. So what I've written down so far, just coming out of the last stream, one of my weaknesses is hi-hats. I don't like how my hi-hats sound. And then another one was music theory. So I was having trouble coming up even with ideas because music theory is kind of limited. So I was thinking, yeah, let me just get back into sampling and stuff. And then, or what I haven't quite, you know, I was searching through samples and I came across the hi-hat, but I also got like a chord progression generator. So I kind of consider chord progression generators kind of a way of sampling ideas, you know. So maybe that's what I'll do. I think I'll probably do that. So what are my thoughts on how I'm gonna overcome these weaknesses? Well, for one, I could just like put a lot more time into programming hi-hats, but the first thought I had was maybe just look into hi-hat loops, maybe look for some packs, because I found this really cool loop. And let me actually see if I can load up that loop that I found. We can start there. No, this is a different one. So I eventually went on to Splice and I searched for some hi-hat loops and stuff so I can just kind of gather a little collection of them for some inspiration to start with. So I found this, and then I just started putting some chords together. Kind of want to start from scratch, but I also want to complete something. So this is something that I started. You know, so what are you gonna do once you pinpoint some of your weaknesses? And I'm gonna get in the chat and check out with y'all because this is really just a discussion. Who knows how much production will actually be done here? So once you pinpoint that, what do you want to do? And I think any of the answers are okay. So these are two of the ideas that I had. So fill in the gaps or go and spend more time on making those weaknesses strengths. And I think either is okay, but it all depends on what your strengths are and whether you want to double down on your strengths or you want to kind of even things out and improve those weaknesses and bring them up to the level of all your other strengths. So I think it's important. Maybe write some of these down. Maybe write a couple down that you can focus on and see what you want to do. So, you know, for me, pulling out, looking for like hi-hat loops is kind of is filling the gap, I think, rather than focusing on making it a strength. And that's okay. I think that's okay. This is production. You're producers. So you just gotta have an ear for it and be able to pull from something. And I think that's totally fine. You know, if that's what you want to do and you want to go bank on your strengths, still double down on your strengths. That's kind of where my head is at right now. I know there's some things in here that I can do to like try to program my hi-hats a little bit better, and I'll focus on that eventually. Even I know because there's some value in that and what you can do with this, and I'd like to share that possibly. But yeah, so two of my weaknesses: hi-hat programming and music theory. So what I'm gonna do is grab loops and just use chord progression generators or samples. That's my thought. So the other option would be go take some time. Program, find techniques, program, get better. And then with theory, go learn some theory, spend some more time, make more of a strength. I'm not sure I have time is just such a headache, man. It's just like giving everything its due, whatever. It's difficult. Like all, you know what I mean? It's very difficult. So I think I'm okay with filling in the gaps and then banking on my strengths. So now that I've seen some of my weaknesses, I can think about the strengths. And like for me, I think my strengths are I could do melodies pretty easy. And then I think lyrics are my strength. These aren't things that I've necessarily doubled down on. I really need to. So yeah, it's just decision making. So I'm gonna fill in the gaps with these and then, you know, go double down on this. So like if I can find quicker inspiration by just grabbing a hi-hat loop, grabbing a pack of chords or like chord generator and then just kind of seeing what sounds good, that's fine, rather than the theory if I'm doubling down on the strengths of putting melodies and writing songs. So that's cool. That's okay with me. I mean, so I don't know. Let me get in the chat and see what y'all are talking about. And I appreciate y'all coming in. I got about, let's see, I don't know, under an hour. I guess I could go up to an hour if I push it and then just run out the door. I got to head to work. Yeah, so 2 up, 2 down. What's good? Peace to you. My weakness is boredom. How is that a music production weakness? Explain that. My other weakness is drums. Just drums in general. Because for me, I can do fine. Like I think my kick and snare patterns I can do pretty fine. But yeah, the hi-hats, hi-hats take it to a whole nother level to give movement to your track. You just got a kick and a snare. I guess it could work with all the other elements, but yeah. So I mean, overall, if your weaknesses are drums, and I don't know, I guess the first thing that comes to mind, my suggestion would be to listen to some drum patterns that really move you, that you like, and try to imitate them. Maybe even like sample in a song, a little loop of a song of a drum pattern, get it looping around, and then like trying to play along to it, maybe layering it with your one shots and just see if you can kind of get it, Weakness is a good bass lines for sure. I think I'm just starting to get bass lines. I think with bass lines, I guess it depends on what the genre of music you're making and what you want to do, but you can keep it pretty simple and just I'm not like, it's not a great strength of mine, bass lines, but I think I can come up with some stuff because it kind of fits along the lines of melodies. And for me, that's easier to do, like the melodies on top of once I had like a chord progression that I might have pulled from a chord generator or some samples to play over it. So I think the bass line is kind of similar, but my go-to rule always is, I guess this only works if you know the chord progressions, is to use the root note of each of those chords that are hit like every time that hits. So say it's like a C chord, and then you can use the root of C, just the note of C, and just use it lower on the octave on the keyboard, and just follow along with your chords. So that works if you know what your chords are. And then I guess if you're doing a bass line over a sample, you're gonna have to figure out what those notes are. And if I'm doing it that way, what I usually do, I've seen other people do this. I think I've seen like Accurate Beats do this as well. But grab some other instrument, and then go higher. Like, I think it's easier to figure out what the notes are of your samples and what key you're in if you're using a higher pitch on the keyboard. Because when you're with the low notes, it's kind of it's harder to determine the frequencies and hear, specifically. So you can get them wrong real easy. So yeah, just go grab some other instrument, or even maybe the same bass, and just go up higher on the keyboard, and then try to figure out what notes fit there. And then once you do find something good, then you can move back into the lower octaves of the key bed, and then start playing your bass line. Buying new gear. Yeah, I guess so, but I want to be more specific as far as the production. So if you could try to figure out what that is, because I think buying a new gear overall is definitely is a weakness, because sometimes for me, I know I do it. Like right now, I've been kind of like in a dry spell, like I'm not really making anything, and I'm like kind of fiending to have an MPC again. And I know that's just some of that same vibration of gas, where I feel like that's the Band-Aid. I can get something else, and maybe it'll inspire me. So yeah, I think it's definitely just a Band-Aid sometimes, is rather than trying to work on those weaknesses, we just go for something fresh and something new that makes us feel like we're doing something. DJ Rec for me was too much gear, but now instead of having everything in one room, I made 2 production rooms, so that forces me to be more creative. Okay, that's interesting. I don't think everyone can afford that or has the space for that, not afford that money-wise, but just space-wise, maybe. But yeah, that's an interesting thought. And I think that's a good idea, because like if you do get bored, like I've said this in the past, if you get bored, I think it's good to have 2 of your go-to types of instruments. For me being a sampler, and I can't do it right now because I ended up selling an MPC live just because I was kind of fed up with it. But yeah, like kind of the concept, I think, of what you're talking about. Maybe you're doing it for different reasons, but having a different option, I think, can, like, once you're like you've gone kind of bored, or like, I guess, beat block or whatever, you can just switch out the sampler, switch out the instrument, and then maybe it'll breathe a little more inspiration into you. But I am trying to talk about techniques here, guys, not just I'm talking about like actual maybe programming techniques, because I think most of us program here, we use samplers. Decoded Cypher Media, what's good? Yeah, just DJ Rec, by the way, I love when you stream this time instead of 4:30 a.m. Yeah, no, most definitely, man. I'd rather not be streaming that early in the morning. I just do what I can, but I haven't been doing it as much lately because I'd rather not be super tired. I'm mainly, sometimes I'm just too tired to even do it. I mean, I get off work, and it's not that late for me. It's more like I don't know where you're at, DJ Rec. I forget if you said, if it's been a while, but I'm in California, so when I come home as early as like 1:30 a.m. So I'm not streaming until 2. I haven't done that in a while though. I think I did a stream like on Sunday, so it was a little earlier, but still kind of ran into the morning, about 2:30, 3 a.m. for me. But yeah, I much rather do this for sure. Decoded Cypher Media. My main weakness is not knowing how to execute something on devices technically. Explain that. But yeah, I want to be real honest with yourself. So like, I mean, I want to be real honest with myself. I want y'all to be real honest with yourselves, because a lot of what y'all are saying is maybe the question isn't clear, but I'm I'm really talking about the actual production aspects, you know, uh, not something outside of that. You know what I mean? Techniques. Maybe I should have wrote techniques. What are your music production technique weaknesses? But I guess it's all count. It's all up for discussion. It's not something that's kind of what I had in mind. But I see you guys are coming with some other kinds of ideas. Let's see. Journalin' Beast, what's up? My way to work around my strength is to listen more to good drums and copy their style till I build my own. Okay, you have been doing that. Weaknesses. Okay, yeah, that's what you meant. My strength is chords, melodies, and bass grooves. Cool. Yes, I mean that's you got the structure for your music. I don't know, maybe switch it up. I don't know if you start with your chords and melodies and bass and then add drums, or you do the other way around. Maybe switch it up. Focus on making a drum pattern that can kind of stand on its own a little bit. I get bored with styles of music. Yeah, maybe try some different styles. Bass lines follow the drums and chords. Frequently asked questions. I get stuck in the loop, man. So yeah, okay. So this was like the last stream was, have you been finishing music? So you get stuck in a loop. I think a lot of us get stuck in the loop. So your weakness is kind of finishing, arrangement maybe. So I mean, do you attempt to go beyond the loop? As I've always had a methodology, and I get stuck in the loop, and I'm trying to figure out whether it's because the loop isn't good enough. Maybe that's what it is. Like for me, maybe the hi-hats aren't strong enough, so I don't want to move on. And I'm just trying to figure this out. This is just all a theory. That's why I'm throwing this out as a discussion. Maybe these things are holding me back. I know my theory holds me back. So as one thing I do kind of miss is the MPC and like a pad perform mode, you know? So I've been trying to fill in that gaps over here with chord generators. You know what I mean? So changes are my weak point. What do you mean by that? Changes are okay. So like, yes. Okay. So yeah, we are talking about arrangement because I think you're saying changes. So having switch ups and are you talking about the actual progression between one section of the beat to another? So my method of arranging is always like I create my loop with everything on it. So say you're stuck on that part, then just copy that loop, that sequence over. Say you have a melody on it, remove the melody, and then kind of simplify it a little bit. Then you got like a verse section. For the intro, you can take the main loop and then take the drums off. And then kind of, or bring, take the drums off at the intro and then kind of have some of them build in right before it hits to the actual main loop. So just messing with bringing some things in and out that are all already included on the main loop. Try Scalar too. Scalar is a plugin, I believe, right? So you need some other DAW, which I'm not really working with, unless I could put Scalar into FL Studio Mobile, which I don't think is possible. Yeah. So what I've been using this online chord progression generator that I showcased in one of my videos. It's where is it? It's onemotion.com / chord player. So it's like a standalone web browser based chord generator, and it gives you a few different instruments like I wish I had this set up so you guys can see my screen, but I don't have that kind of setup anymore. But you get a few selection of instruments like piano, electric pianos, guitars and organs, and a few other things. But you can pick any scale, major, minor, harmonic minor, melodic minor, a bunch of them, right? And then you can pick the key, and you can have it arpeggiate in a different style, change the tempo, that kind of thing. So it's pretty useful. I wish it had like a MIDI output so I can use it to control like another sound module like the MC-101 that I have over here. But I don't think you can do that. And you can set up like MIDI controllers to control it, but not the other way around. Scalar helps you write bridges. That's one thing I've never even like looked into, like what a bridge is exactly. I've always been really basic, just intro, hook, verse, hook. Lately, my 808s suck and bass lines. Okay. I don't know if you're in here like when I was talking about bass lines because someone else said it was their weakness. I kind of do the same thing with the 808s. It's just as long as I know the chords, I just follow the root note with those and keep it simple. Common Beast, what's up? Yeah, doing pretty good and happy to be on live right now. Too many options kill my vibes. Yeah, I'm with you with that. That's why I left like the computer music production world alone a while back. Exactly. You as well. Yes. Common Beats. Weakness is limitations of musicality to lay down what I hear in my head. Working on it. Well, that's cool. You have an idea in your head. That's awesome. But yeah, I hear you. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like I can't. That's probably the same thing for me. I don't know if I could say I have an idea of what the music should sound like in my head. I mean, I think we all kind of have a vision, but I don't know if it's in my head. It's somewhere. Decoded Cypher Media. Excuse me. So I'm in the process of creating a song, and I won't know how to make something happen on the device to execute my concept. By the time I figure it out, my idea is gone or diluted. Okay, so it's just a matter of knowing your equipment. What are you working on? What is your main piece? That's why a good workflow is very important. Something simple. That's why I've always kind of expressed the desire to have like the best workflow with the most simplicity. That's kind of why I like this thing, although there is still kind of a learning curve and some limitations on this, on the SP. Two up, two down. What are you using? What are you using as your DAWless beat making setup? Are you on MPC, SP? Frequently asked question. I found if I just pick random sounds and start making music, I always find something good quick. If I try to do a lot of sound searching, the vibe is killed and I end up just doing sound design. Yeah, that's a whole nother process to sit down at if you want to sound design. All right, Common Beats. You have a good night, man. Thanks for popping in. Video on Scalar 2 for changing keys and writing bridges. All right, man. Take care. Look up the circle of fifths. It's a great chart to find out what notes complement other notes. Yeah, and this chord player I was just talking about has a built-in circle of fifths as well, and you can play it. just going clockwise around the circle of fifths. Turn the style off. So yeah, so I'm stuck with using the sounds that are built into it, but it, you know, running it through like some vinyl sim on the SP doesn't sound too bad. So 2 up, 2 down. You have an MPC-1. Have you jumped into Pad Perform at all? Definitely would if that's one of your issues is theory. Decoded Cypher Media. I jump between MPCs and Machine Plus, and I have actual instruments as well, and you had to say actual instruments as well. How dare you? Which ends up being a fallback when I get tired of researching how to do something. Okay. I mean, it's good to have the ability to play some instruments. You know, you could just put your idea like down like as a loop with a different instrument or with one of your actual instruments. And then, you know, find the tempo, and then by using like your tap tempo and or like if you have the MPC, it'll calculate it as long as you have a nice loop, and then just build around your loop, you know? I mean, I think you figured out how to sample yourself by now, right? That's pretty basic. It's all good, Decoded Cypher. No, it's all good. I think we all kind of do that. I know you're not hating or nothing. Some people still feel that way, but whatever, man. To each their own. You know, it's all about creating music. 2 up, 2 down. I have no knowledge, can't front, but I guess it's time to do research. Yeah, man. Definitely look into Pad Perform. Get a little basic knowledge of theory, so you can use Pad Perform to your advantage, and write some stuff like that. Okay. Let's see. Let me just start something new. So let me see. I'm gonna start with looking through some of these hi-hat loops that I got on Splice. Not all hi-hat loops. Some are percussion loops, but tambourines and stuff. Easier Rec FL and MPC-X, my go-to production room. Room 2 is my MPC 3000 LE and a Roland SP-4 for MKII with the 2XL. That's a nice little lineup of gear, bro. Kind of like this here. Let me load that for now and see what else is in here. That's all I got so far. All right, Decoded Cypher. Have a good night as well, man. Appreciate it. Don't work too hard tonight, bro. Hey, I'm gonna take your advice for sure. Frequently asked question. I come from a traditional rock background, guitar, bass, drums, but since I've gotten the MPC Live 2, I mostly have went into electronic music. I'm here to tell you the MPC is way harder to learn. Way harder to learn than what? Than like the other, like those actual instruments? So that 90 beats a minute. Well, it's 4 p.m. Let's see. Let's get a tap tempo on this. It's a long loop. I don't have this loop. So it looks like 75. some of this. Oops. Truncate it. 75. All right. Oh, we get some other drums. Tend to overcomplicate every beat. Sometimes I just keep it simple and start a new sequence. Yeah, just keep it simple. I used to, that's something I always kind of, I mean, since I began, try to strip down. It's like I used to put a lot into beats, and then just over time hearing people talk about production techniques and just listening stuff, like keeping it simple is usually best. My bad, Raul, but what did you say you don't like in your hi-hats? I don't like, I was talking about my weaknesses. The two things that I pinpointed for now, and this list could grow, just my hi-hat programming. I feel like I don't like my hi-hats mostly, usually. And then, you know, music theory is also one of my weaknesses. I don't have a lot of knowledge on it, so having something like a chord generator helps. See. Let's do this for now. What about some chords? Yeah. What I need, just these three chords? Key B flat. Let's try. Yeah, there you go. Let's mess with those. Can't get a satisfaction out of playing actual instruments. There are so much you can do with the MPC that it's kind of like music producer's dream. Almost definitely. I mean, you can figure out how to really combine those things, and I think you're set. You know, I don't think there's anyone out there that if they had, you know, the option of just being able to play, you know, use an MPC or play actual instruments as well, they wouldn't, you know, jump at the chance. You know, disregarding having to practice, you know. But something told me to buy an old guitar player when I was young. What is it? Something told to me by an old guitar player when I was young, the silence between the notes is the most important part of music. I've heard something to that effect as well, yeah. Let's just do that. What a different snare. Let's see what time is 4:13. Valley Star was good. Crossroads was happening. I'm not the kind of person that'll pair the MK2 with the 404. I'm not from those camps. I think a lot of people do that, but I mean, sure, why not? But they both do similar things. Like you can make music with one or the other. Like I don't think having both is necessary. Like, you make complete tracks with one or the other. Let me resample this. Okay. My main MIDI controller was M Audio Oxygen Pro 49. I like it a lot for software instruments on MPC. So what's up? It's a good controller. OS, I speak for a lot of us. What was it that you said? Arrangement, yeah, for sure. Like if a lot of us aren't finishing, then arrangement is most likely a big weakness. So yeah, I'm with you. Controller mode though in 4.4 is damn good though. Instant pad recording. Miss having native hold pad function on the one. I'm not sure what you're referencing. The OGSP 4.4 has some of the nice magic to it as well. Good grit. You never usually on weekdays, huh? Sneaky day off. No, not a day off. Just my girl gave me some time in the house by myself, so it's right before work. So I'm about to get off pretty soon, guys. I should be packing up, getting my stuff ready, getting some food ready. Freaky Wheeling asks questions. I'm inspired. I'm gonna go make some music now. Right on. Also try using the MC-101 as your sound card for MPC. It's really fun using the scatter effect on the MPC. Okay. I'll have to get an MPC again. Doesn't have a hold pad function like the 4.4 SX. So what does that do? Like you press hold and then it keeps the sample going? I think there is like I think there was a way that I came across that. Something like that. What is the point of the hold pad function? Because I just figured this out by accident. If you have it on gate and it's looping and you want to keep it on gate, if you press down the data knob while holding it, it'll keep it going. Marcello, what's up? Bash Ali, what's good? So I don't know if that's what the hold function did, but there you go. It's kind of a little hidden tip there. I don't know if it's like a bug or it was intentional or what. But yeah, tell me again, because I want to know, what is the hold pad function? What was that? What does that do? bring something in. What should I bring in? I got piano. Import some samples, some one shots. I got a little bit of a collection. Let me see. Just bring a few things in. Organ, Vox, vocal sample. Wind instrument. Let's go with that for now. Let's start with this. Now I'm in minor. Let's see. Thanks, Bash. Finger drumming. Practice your finger drumming for a year and let that be the only thing you're doing. Ambitious Hustler, what's up? Appreciate it. Hey, peace to you, man. Yeah, thanks for the discussion. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to jump off pretty quick here. Coming up on an hour. But I gotta run, head to work. So maybe I'll work on this like on my break. The thing is, I don't know if I like these hats, this little shaker loop. Maybe I could just program it in there a little bit better. What's that you say, Ali? Give it a filter? Season for Jingle Bells, bro. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's just leave it at that. Start to wrap it up here. About to head out, go to work. But yeah, I just wanted to drop that little questionnaire for everybody. Anybody who may be struggling finishing their work, finishing their music. Just was a thought that maybe some of the weak points that I'm dealing with, maybe some of the hurdles that are keeping me from finished. Maybe because maybe I just subconsciously know these points are weak, and then I'm just not compelled or inspired to even move forward to the arrangement process. And that's the biggest hurdle there is like, a lot of people just get stuck on the loop, like someone said in here, someone said they get stuck on a loop, and then OS, I think, was said that, yeah, he speaks for a lot of us. I think it's the arrangement. So being stuck in that loop. So is that loop sufficient enough? Is it inspiring enough for you to start putting in the next step, which is breaking it down and moving it into sections, and then, exporting and uploading and distributing, whatever it is, whatever finished looks like to you. For me, that's what it is like being happy enough with what the beat is in order to like just at least put it out there in the world. Just to say that I can, to feel accomplished. I think that's my next step. Even bigger step for me is actually throwing lyrics on it, after the arrangement and all that. But yeah, that's it, y'all. So I appreciate it. I wish I can keep going. So peace till next time. Stay humble, everyone. Be bold. God bless. Run with your dreams. All that. Let's keep going. Build up them strengths. Go ahead. Double down. Fill in the gaps. Do what you got to do. But really think about it. Write it down, maybe. Maybe that's what I should do. Like write it down, put it on the wall right in front of me. Start writing those weak points so I can focus on them and then get over these humps. So, all right. Appreciate everyone. Until the next one. All right.